A group that uses volunteers to help the elderly stay independent is looking for support. To tell us about an upcoming event and how volunteers can help is our guest from FriendshipWorks, the Alston-Brighton Program Director, Samantha Cowan. Thank you very much for being with us, Samantha.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
There's a little history because before this was known as FriendshipWorks for the elderly, there was another group that tried to get people connected.
There was. So FriendshipWorks started as an interfaith coalition 31 years ago. And it was a group of congregations and other community organizations that got together and wanted to make sure that the elders in their community were being supported and that they weren't becoming isolated. So they started a volunteer caregiving program, and we had the name Match Up Interfaith Volunteers. So while that's no longer our name, we're FriendshipWorks because we think that friendship between volunteers and elder really does work for the elder, for the volunteer, and for the community. We're FriendshipWorks now.
So what do the friends do exactly?
So our volunteers do a variety of different things. We have a lot of opportunities that can kind of be split into long-term relationships and short-term assistance. So we have volunteers who will go, they're paired with an elder and they meet once a week. For about an hour, and they're really there just to be a companion to their elder. So these are friendly visiting volunteers. They spend time together. Some people do really simple things like have a conversation, read the paper, talk about what's new and good. Some people really enjoy going out on walks together. Some matches, which is what we call them when we put an elder and a volunteer together. Some matches get really adventurous and they'll go to City Hall or they'll go to a festival or a fair. It just depends on what they like to do. So we have some folks that are long-term and then other short-term opportunities, such as accompanying an elder to and from a medical appointment or assisting them with a task around their house. We have volunteers who volunteer with their dogs or cats. A variety of different opportunities.
You know, it's about how unremarkable things can be very important. Talk about just walking out around the block with somebody. Maybe you go to some Vest Pocket Park and you sit down, you get some fresh air, and you come home. And some people go, all right, what's the big deal here? Why does that matter so much?
Well, I'm thinking of a volunteer and an elder that I know that I actually matched together. And the elder, used to be able to get out really easily on her own, and it was just part of her everyday life, part of the way that she enjoyed living. And then, she has a variety of medical issues that might make it hard for her to get out by herself. And her volunteer, when the weather's nice, they do that simple thing, just spending time walking. And then as they're walking, I know that the elder shares, she's lived in the neighborhood for a while, she'll share with the volunteer how the neighborhood has changed and what stayed the same, and then that brings on conversations about time and community and family, and by the time you've walked for 20 minutes and are back at the apartment, you've not only gotten some physical exercise, but you've developed a relationship with a friend and also gotten to know the neighborhood a little better. So something very simple goes a long way.
And what's going on here is not just that the younger generation is helpful and the older people get help, but this is also about older people contributing in some way too.
Definitely. So we talk about what we do as being a two-way street. So FriendshipWorks' mission is preventing and ending elder isolation, but we're also really aware that it's not just the elders who are benefiting. The volunteers are also benefiting from, just gaining a friend, but the community is also benefiting. And we have a new program actually at the office where I'm directing in Alston-Brighton called the Missing Piece Project. And this project is really focused on talking with elders and finding out what their talents and their skills are and their giftings, and finding ways for them to volunteer their time in the community. So we have people who are looking to volunteer with kids or volunteer at a local health center and really, contribute, because oftentimes in our society, I think we can forget about the older adults among us, and we think that they might have more needs than they have reasons to give, but it's just not true.
I can also see this as maybe in the worst cases an early warning system, because sometimes as people get older, things gradually go downhill, and sure. I've experienced this. Someone starts hoarding, and
sure.
you don't think it's a problem right away, but there's something happening that requires some help, and this might be the only connection to make that happen.
It's very true. So in our volunteer training that we have for all of our volunteers, we actually talk about that, and we say, we work with a variety of elders, some who have lots of connections and are at risk for isolation right now, but might be in the future. And some people who, you might be the only person who visits them in their home. So just be aware of how they might change over time. And oftentimes we've had volunteers come to us and mention something a change they've noticed in their elder, and that's actually helped us connect with their family or with the right people to get that elder the help that they would need.
Well, coming back to going out for a walk, you have an event coming up pretty soon.
We do. We have our very first FriendshipWorks Walkathon, which is aptly named Friendship Walks. And it stretches across Boston. So we're starting at our JP neighborhood office, and then also at our main office downtown, and walking to a variety of different places across Boston, all ending at the Allston-Brighton neighborhood office. And the reason that we're walking from place to place to place is really because we're trying to bring awareness to the need that we found for work with elders on a community level. And so at FriendshipWorks, we have a main office, but we also have a couple of different neighborhood offices where we're really getting to know the community in those spots. And so the walk will bring awareness to elder isolation across Boston and Brookline, but we're also raising funds to keep our programs going, because all of the services that we provide for elders are all free of charge. So we need something to keep it going.
Well, if people want to help out, whether by walking or volunteering, what's the best way to get some more details?
The best way to get more details about the walk or about FriendshipWorks in general, if you're interested in volunteering or if you might be an elder or know an elder who might want to participate, is to go to our website, which is fw4elders.org. So FriendshipWorks, fw4elders.org. Or you can just Google search FriendshipWorks Boston, and that should get you to our website. From there, there's volunteer applications, there's our phone number, information about the walk, everything you would need.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Samantha Cowan from FriendshipWorks. In a moment, a new app for community service.